Hello and welcome back to Kaiserreich. I changed a couple of names of the cores. Oh, I changed them to core in Norwegian because they were spelled with a C earlier, and that is not because I'm illiterate. I just am so used to writing core with a C. I did write it with a K here because I was playing the German Empire, and I was sort of trying to keep some of the simple stuff in English and have some of the more, I guess, specialized names in German. But now I know the words for most of these things in Norwegian, so I can name all of them in Norwegian. Let's see. So also I learned something funny because I barely really studied World War II in Norway actually, since you know my area of highest interest, I guess, in history is the First World War. But I learned something interesting about Christian Låke here, the field marshal. So, before the invasion of Norway in April 1940, he was actually slated for retirement in like 2 weeks after the invasion happened. So when the invasion happened, he was like literally like, I'm too old for this shit. This isn't my my job anymore. And his pessimistic and defeatist attitudes got him basically sacked, and got him replaced by Otto Ruge here. So he became like the field marshal essentially, or the the supreme commander, I guess, of the Norwegian forces, which I thought was kind of funny. It's not often where you actually have like a character, in real life who straight up is that I'm 2 weeks away from retirement kind of person. Yeah, we're going to unpause and let some time tick and see what happens here in Norway. So let's see, I heard something. Some people were not happy with the flag. I'm not either. It's kind of it's very dark, and yeah, I'm not digging the flag all that much for Finland here. I like flags to have like very bright discernible colors and also be kind of simple. This one has a kind of complex symbol on the top left here that's also very small and hard to see on this view. A lot of European flags though, especially in this period, have very complex symbols and stuff. Oh, democracy prevails in the Philippines. I've seen that plenty of times. Emilio Arguinaldo. But yeah, a lot of the flags here in Europe have very complex elements to them, and that has to do with the whole monarchy bullshit, because all of these are like coats of arms and stuff like that. Japan announces her ambitions. Though the situation in Japan has been critical ever since the peace with honor, with numerous economic crises, unrest, and an ineffective response to German interventions in China, leading to the collapse of the autocratic Tanaka regime. The Empire of the Rising Sun managed to bounce back, albeit as only a regional power, with its influence limited to East Asia. However, the Japanese seem determined to put this weakness to rest, and have now announced their ambitions of seeking their peace among the great powers once again, or their place, by force if necessary. Germany, with its own sphere in Asia, is unlikely to receive this news warmly. So, this is basically a thing that happens every time, I think. Let's see here. Yeah, the Rising Sun. When they finish this, that event fires, and then they can go down these paths. They can go down all of them. Operation Kamikaze. Kamikaze meaning, of course, the Divine Wind. The hurricanes that that eliminated the storms, I guess, that eliminated the Mongolian invasion fleets twice when they were heading for Japan. Mongolian / Chinese. It was the I believe what are they called, the fucking, is it Kublai Khan? His like northern China Khanate or whatever, when he moved in and basically became emperor or something. Like, he started a dynasty, which I forget their name, like Yuan maybe? Yuan China. Second International. The first syndicalist international, held in Paris, dealt with the ideology overseas, supporting syndicalist movements and strengthening the ties between existing syndicalist nations. And thanks to the gathering's success, the Second International, go away improved machine tools. A Second International has been called to be held in London. Yep, that is a standard event as well. Now this is important. Here is where we see where a lot of like the influence from the UOB. Yeah, this is where we see a lot of the syndicalist foreign policy get revealed. The Union of Britain has begun influencing our political system. It seems they are supporting syndicalist groupings with funds and attempts to undermine the legitimacy of our democracy in the left-wing press. So that would be the oh, I actually forgot what the left-wing papers were called. I wrote my my bachelor's thesis on them. It would be the damn. How can I forget? Because we have in this period, most of the papers in Norway are rooted in a party, like straight up run by a party, and the left-wing one, well, the most prominent left-wing one, run by the Arbeiderpartiet, which means the Labor Party, directly translated Worker Party. Heavy fighter for sea dominance, but we don't have the industry for it anyway, so whoa. Okay, we want this one because of the cold acclimatization factor. Because we're going to have a lot of cold here in Norway, despite what the current weather in Norway might have you think. Dude, the weather's been so nice. I can't wait to like I love playing this. I love recording this, obviously, but I can't wait to be done recording so that I can go outside and you know, crank out some well, get some reading done on a 400-page book on the Sino-Soviet split, so I can, you know, get ready for my paper that I have to, well, that's due like in 11 days, I think. The United Baltic Duchy declared war on Latvia and on Estonia. So, the Baltic War. For many years, the Baltic Duchy set up by the Germans after the conquest of the former Russian governorate during the Weltkrieg, has marginalized its native Estonian and Latvian populace. Though the local population has been ruled by local German elites for centuries, with the imposition of a German ducal structure under Duke Friedrich, and policies that both favor German settlers and undermine the natives. Open rebellion has broken out. National, Latvian and Estonian movements have launched attacks across the country, and the duchy has plunged into chaos. The ducal regime's survival is not guaranteed, and the influences may have on the German sphere in Eastern Europe remains unclear. One thing is for certain, however, and that is that Germany's plans of settlement in the East have been temporarily dashed. So the question here is this one of those civil wars that are kind of isolated, like East Asia and Indo-Chinese Union, where the German Empire can't really come to their aid? Because if it is, then my man Adolf Friedrich here might be gone. And we will have Estonia under Andreas Larka and Karlis Ulmanis under, yeah, Latvia here. Interesting. So now we have a civil war in Soviet Russia, a civil war in the Baltic Duchy, or like a secessionist movement. We have technically a civil war between Hungary and the Austrian Empire. And we have a civil war. Oh my god, that's ugly. Civil war in America. What the fuck happened here? Oh, probably like militias or whatever. Oh, Tibet and Mongolia ended their war. Okay, the Khan is expanding, but yeah. So this is probably like militia event spawned troops or something. Kind of like how the French get event spawn troops over here. Oh, and another civil war in Spain. Foundation of the Belgrade Pact, the Spanish Civil War. Okay. So, Serbia, Romania, and Greece, the three Balkan members of the Entente, all with revanchist views of their own, have recently gathered to a common table of negotiations. While Romania has distanced itself from creating a military alliance, Serbia and Greece have announced the beginning of the Belgrade Pact. So yes, Serbia and Greece. Often, this leads to a war with Bulgaria. For territories such as Western Salonika and stuff. And the Greek claims over, or sorry, Serbian claims over here. Romania is going to want a peace as well. But they have distanced themselves this time. When we have the Spanish Civil War, happens pretty much every time. Can be avoided, I think. With Alfonso and Javier, both are, I believe, royal claimants, and then you have the popular or the like vanguard between syndicalists, anarchists, and so on and so forth, communists. Kind of like you know, the historical like Republican vanguard. I haven't decided on the doctrine yet. I'm leaning towards superior firepower doctrine. But feel free to convince me otherwise if you think there's a better one. I'm going to probably not start researching doctrines until like a couple of videos from now, so you probably have time to give me some tips about that. The basic snorkel is very important for submarines, but not going to research it because it takes 310 days without any naval experience, and we're going to get some of that from possibly from events and possibly from... Oh, we're going to do this one, I think. But yeah, possibly from events and possibly from just training once we actually get our navy up and running, really. Like, currently we barely even have one. We have dreadnoughts, right? Yeah. So you might want to get this one here. Yeah. It's actually very surprising to me that we have dreadnoughts. Leif Erikson, that is the Norseman who traveled from Iceland to Greenland and then to Newfoundland here. Found what they called Vinland. And of course then left, because I think they decided it wasn't there wasn't anything for them there. Carlist Spain declared war on the Kingdom of Spain. Yep. Nationalist takeover in the Netherlands. Oh boy. Latvia's joined the Reichspakt. Okay, so Latvia. Oh, okay. Yeah, Adolf Friedrich got chased out, and now we have like the countries which made up the Baltic Duchy have now broken free and made their own countries. And have rejoined the Reichspakt, so no bad blood between the Germans and them. Nationalist takeover in the Netherlands. The Netherlands have long been seen as an island of political centrism in an ocean of leftist ideologues and machinating imperialists. All that has changed, however, with the rise of the Verbund voor Nationaal Herstel, VNH, the so-called Alliance for National Recovery, is an ultra-nationalist movement dedicated to restoring Dutch pride and expunging the nation of syndicalist influence in the wake of the Black Monday crisis. The growing popularity of the VNH has culminated in it becoming the largest party in the parliament. However, it failed to get a majority in the election. Not to be outdone by the rivals, Landwacht paramilitaries today marched into the Binnenhof, terrifying the rest of parliament into submission and beginning a dictatorship. Oh boy. So this is a straight up like Hitler-like, or not Hitler, I mean kind of, but it's not a direct parallel to Hitler or Mussolini, but it's very similar, with the Landwacht being kind of like the Arditi and the Freikorps of the interwar period in Germany. So you've got this does not look like a dictator. This looks like a monarch. Might be it hasn't ticked yet. It's called Dutchland. That's a bit weird. Would you really call it Dutchland? The fall of Washington. Oh, and okay, so there's still bad blood with the Estonians apparently. Syndicate militias have advanced towards and captured the symbolic capital of the United States, Washington, D.C. This happens pretty much every time. So we got quite a MacArthur snake up here by, like, through Pittsburgh and stuff. But yeah, this happens pretty much every time. The syndicalists are poised to take Washington quite easily because they have the borders are very close to it, right here. And the actual, like, U.S. Military dictatorship is sandwiched in here between the Union State and syndicates. So it's quite rare that they actually manage to hold on to Washington for long. Okay, so the 1936 fleet plan is done. Let us do the Oslo-analyser. Peru declared war on Ecuador. Great hat. Okay, that's Gallo. Or Gallo. The fall of Denver. Minutemen militias have been fighting sparse skirmishes with the federal government across the Great Plains. Today, their efforts came to a close as they finally descended on the city of Denver after a large-scale assault across the South Platte Valley. Wait, what? Denver is like... Wait, is Denver up here? Nah, surely it's like over here, right? Denver sits on... Doesn't Denver sit on the Colorado River? Or am I just completely wrong? Oh, there it is. Yeah, Denver, Colorado. And then... I don't know, like the geography of Hoi4 isn't always very correct, so a lot of the rivers don't actually go where they should go. This might be the Colorado River, though. Or might, you know, be meant to represent it. The Colorado River does go through Nevada, though, doesn't it? There's no river in Nevada here. Or does it not? Maybe. Oh no, this is the... Yeah, this is the Colorado River, because it just passes by Las Vegas. Yeah, and goes through Arizona. Yeah. This has to be it. The Fourth Balkan War. Yep, as we expected. And it is between Bulgaria and Serbia, Greece, and not Romania this time, I don't think. No. It's the Belgrade Pact versus Bulgaria. So if I sound a bit tired, by the way, I am... So Eurovision was it yesterday? No, the day before. And we... You know, if you're not European, you might not understand, but to a lot of Europeans, Eurovision is kind of a fun thing that we always, you know... We get trashed and watch it. And I'm still kind of recovering from that experience. Norway's contribution wasn't that bad, honestly, and we got like an absurd amount of the popular vote. But of course the jury did not like us, so we didn't win. I think we were like almost at the bottom of the scoreboard until they started counting the popular vote, in which case we just like shot up to first place. Obviously, you're going to do that on the first popular vote thing. But yeah, we ended up in 5th place, which is not bad. Eurovision is just like, it's campy fun. And of course, like, the political circumstances surrounding Eurovision are always very spicy. And with it being in Israel this time, it's extra spicy. It's always like very interesting to see what happens there and how, you know, how that affects, you know, the media and stuff. I do not have any hot takes regarding Eurovision. So don't you worry about me like spouting some ignorant and, you know, potentially vitriolic bullshit or something. It's just dumb fun to me. Oh my boy, okay. Syndicalism prevails in Ukraine. Khrushchev, here we go. Speaking of, you know, the Sino-Soviet split, my man's secret speech boy. After the Belkrieg, Ukraine became a battleground between the pro-German Hetmanate, the Bolsheviks, Makhanos Free Territory, and many other armed groups. Yeah, that's also very, like, very similar to what happened historically in the interwar years, but not, you know, not completely. Where there were, or there was a Ukrainian People's Republic, which was not socialist, which was taken over by the Bolsheviks. But it turned out to be unpopular among the Ukrainians. And after an agricultural crisis and the infamous Black Monday, this hatred reached a breaking point. The famous Ukrainian syndicalist leader Nikita Khrushchev has led his red militias to dissolve the kingdom and declare the Ukrainian Socialist Republic. Time will tell whether this new entity will endure a German reaction, though. But this victory has strengthened the far-left positions across the Reichspakt. A red hetman. Wonder what hetman actually means. Holmenkollen-marsjen. Holmenkollen is, I mean, it's a place down south. I actually don't know exactly where. I think it's in Oslo, but like in the outskirts. It is where we have our, don't actually know what it's called in English. The sport where you literally ride skis down a slope and then jump. Might just be called ski jumping. That's what we call it, directly translated here in Norway. We have a lot of winter sports which I don't think are very popular, like, globally. A lot of strange and very niche ones. I mean, I've heard it said, like, if there is a sport that involves both skis and shooting a gun, Norway is going to win it every single time. So, luckily, we have a sport just called ski shooting that involves just that. And rare is the, you know, the Olympic event where we do not, or the, you know, rare is the Olympics where we do not get a gold in that. And then come the Summer Olympics, which we don't talk about. Greece has capitulated. The Greek government has gone into exile, and their main forces have capitulated to Albania. Whoa! Whoa, Albania big. Saudi Arabia has joined the Cairo Pact. Okay, so they've organized a pact, like a common vanguard against the Ottoman Empire. Oh, this is kind of loud, but I like it. Ay, Jalisco, don't run away. Yeah, oh, yo, okay, so they... installed someone loyal, Alexandros Papanastasio, and now they're a puppet of Albania. Interesting. Albania is still the most sinister flag in all of Europe. Looking like something out of Starship Troopers. Oh, also I haven't decided on the air doctrine, so if you have any tips there, I'm happy to listen to that. We will need Marines, but not yet at all. No Marines until we actually have a Navy. One of the things that kind of becomes a problem when you're playing a small nation who doesn't have a lot of, a lot of different paths to take. Like, for Germany, for example, you have a massive Navy, you have the industry to maintain an air force and all that, and you can basically go in any direction you want. But in Norway, you are constrained much more so than, you know, as any major power. And that kind of, like, shoehorns you into certain strategies. Like, you can't really go... You can't go Marines yet until you have a Navy. And you can't go a Navy unless you have industry and resources, and, like, oil and stuff. And you might say, wait, but Norway's, you know, famous for being oil rich. Yes. After, like, December 24th, 1969. So we've still got quite a while to go until we get the oil here. Italian Republic has joined the Donau-Adria-Bund. With Gabriele D'Annunzio's radicalism contained at the ballot box, the Italian Republic has formally joined the Austria's Defense Pact. Okay, so no war between the Austrians and the Italians this time. German West Hungary. German West Hungary in Austria, that's a... I mean, I know why it's called German West Hungary. It's because of it's the German-speaking part of West Hungary here. Savoyard crisis resolved. Okay, so the Swiss crisis here. So he's reigned supreme today as the Commune of France revoked their demands for the immediate return of the hot Savoy region. Oh, nice. So, yeah, so France usually, like, demands this region from, and that can be one of the sparks that lights the, you know, or that basically, like, explodes the powder keg between France and Germany. Oslo analyser. The scientist Svein Rosseland recently proposed the construction of a large mechanical computer, the Oslo analyzer. Oh, that actually, I think that is, that's actually all just English, the Oslo analyzer. With governmental support, he has now finished the theoretical parts of the project. His team will now attempt to construct this technological marvel. If successful, the computer should greatly increase our research capabilities. Yo, we're creating a huge computer. Statistisk Sentralbyrå. Statistical, like Central Statistical Bureau. Gonna do that one, and so that gave us a 100% bonus to research. So we're going to research this one because it's going to give us we're going to have a head of time penalty. We don't really have much else to research anyways. And it's going to increase all further research by 5%, so I think it's worth it. Especially to get it early. By the way, if you know, like, if you're not Norwegian or Scandinavian, because all Scandinavians can pretty much understand each other, if you're not Norwegian and you hear me pronounce a word in Norwegian in a manner that is different to what you've heard before, like, for example, I say words in, you know, my dialect. It's kind of like in Britain, right? If you hear a Scottish person speak and you hear a person from Cornwall speak, they're going to sound very different. In Norway, we take that to like 112. Like, we crank that up. Like, our words aren't even the same. Like, the word for I in Oslo is jeg. Over here, it's eg. And over here, it's a. those are all the same word. And it gets even worse than that. Like, they also say egg somewhere here and stuff, and some of these places, it's like, because of, like, natural disasters, which displace some people, the dialects don't even have, like, any sort of geographical logic to them either. So sometimes you'll, like, hear some dialect which you expect to find down here, like, over here. The rise of the Mongol Empire, that's a big meme. News and reliable sources of them are scarce in the vast plains of Mongolia, but it has recently come to light that the Mad Baron of Mongolia, Roman Ungern von Sternberg, has risen to new heights and declared himself to be the successor of Genghis Khan. Appropriately named Ungern Khan. Oh, it still says Genghis Khan II here. I thought they changed that, but it is not known what this change will entail, though. The Mongolian army has already defeated the Maklik, and von Sternberg has declared his right to reign over all Mongolians numerous times before. So, what this means is that, so, first of all, he's huge. This is scary. But the Mongolian Khanate here can technically assert claims over most of China here, and pretty much everything westwards here. Obviously, you know, those claims, their legitimacy can be disputed, but I think so can this man's soundness of mind. Yeah, so the Norwegian language is a mess. That was just what I wanted to say. It is crazy, and if I pronounce something differently from what you've heard another Norwegian do, then that is why. Also, like, I heard there was one person, about the comments. There was one Swedish person who pointed out that they thought I was Swedish because of my accent, and obviously our accents are quite similar, but yes. I live up here in the region called Nordland. This is Nordland, it's cut off over here, and this is Troms. But yeah, I live in this region called Nordland, and I think our inflection is kind of similar to Northern Swedish inflection, the way you sound out, or not the way you sound out words, but like the tone of voice. Because my tone of voice is going to like dip a bit into my sentences. Like, I'll start high and then go lower. And I think that's kind of also a thing over here. And then down here you got very like high, very very high and very like cheerful, I think, sounding language, like very sing-songy. Anyways, we're going to do quick casualty checkup here, so I'm quite interested in the Russian-Soviet war. Oh boy, 500,000, 250,000. How about the... Okay, that is not crazy. Barely anything. This one just started, but it's important to have some measuring stick or whatever, measuring pole, whatever you call it, a yarding stick. We need something to basically orient ourselves around for future videos when you check the casualties there. Turkestan Khanate and the Alash Orda. Asian Dominican War, 2000 1000. In terms of their fielded manpower, that's kind of huge. Yeah, in terms of, you know, these wars are like big for these countries. For countries like Russia and stuff, it's pocket change. That is if you treat human lives as pocket change. Anyways, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. In the description down below, you'll find a Twitter, a Patreon link. You'll find a link to Humble Bundle, where you can buy this game or the expansion. And if you do, I'll get a small cut. It's going to directly support the channel at no extra cost to you, and you do get a Steam key. So, like, Humble Bundle is a reputable sales platform, and Steam is a reputable platform for you to keep your games on. I think, at least, in my opinion. So basically, everyone wins. Anyways. That's it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.